All right, so September has ended. Okay, moving forward, um, let's focus on October. So let me just test out the volume to see if there's any issues. September has ended. Okay, moving forward, let's focus on October. So let me just test. All right, so the volume is fine. Let's get started. So let's start off with the contract. December contract chart. Okay, and then we'll move on to the continuous contract. Right. So now I want to see. Let's head over to the weekly chart right here. So we have a inefficiency here on a weekly. Right. So preferably, I would prefer price to reach into this area here, and then we break lower. Okay, that is what I would prefer to see, but because we're heading to Q1 of October. Q1 of October, I would like to see accumulation, which means consolidation within this area here, and then Q2 stop hunt above this high, which would be the weekly fair value gap, and then Q3, Q4 distribution lower. Okay, so how far can this actually go? Right, using the standard deviation, -4 is where I am looking at 14,254.25. Okay, so this is where I would be anchoring, and then I'm looking for inefficiencies that are close to it, which would be this level here. Okay, on the weekly chart, it would be right here. So right below this level, we have a volume imbalance. So I like this weekly level here. So I'm gonna anchor it right down here. Okay. Right, as you can see very nicely, lines up close to it, not perfect but close to it. Okay, so this would be my focus, my objective, unless something changes. Okay, because price has closed below 2.5, which means I'm expecting some sort of a retracement within 2 to 2.5, or maybe 1 to 1.5, this two range. Okay, and then there we have it, some form of inefficiencies down here. I'm expecting it to continue lower. Right, can it continue lower from this candle right here? It's totally possible because it has reached into this inefficiency here, which is inside the 2 to 2.5 range. Okay, it can drop from Q1 onwards. Right, so just keep in mind of that possible scenario. Okay, and at the same time we have SMT on the ES right here. If you head down to the lower time frames, you have SMT here on the 4 hours chart. So NQ made a higher high from this higher high, but ES is unable to do so. So that indicates ultra bearishness for ES, and Nasdaq, it's gonna, what I'm anticipating is that it's gonna continue running lower. So why this area here? Because right here we have a BPR as well. So if you extend it out, that's your BPR. And if you really want to narrow it down, you can use this as your BPR, because this was the last time price used this as a springboard to take out a swing high on a daily chart right here. Okay, so as you can see, very nice reactions. This is almost at the consequent encroachment of this inefficiency here. Okay, close to perfect. So moving forward, I think very high likely it's gonna drop from here. Okay, so let's see how it trades on the first week of October. I'm not too worried if I'm not able to catch the move down, because the first week of October we have non-farm payrolls. Okay, so I'm not too worried. Ultimately, the safest bet, I'm gonna wait for 10th of October, the opening price of 10th of October. That should give me a general idea of how October is gonna perform in terms of the monthly candle. Okay, so on the monthly, is it gonna expand to the upside or to the downside? Okay, so that remains to be seen. So right here, and if you use the most recent swing high to swing low, we have this area here, 2 to 2.5. It's right here as well. Okay, if you're gonna use this high to this low, okay, the high, the highest high before this drop, and the market structure shifts that um, indicates the change in the state of delivery. Okay, which means here, if you want, you can actually use this area as well. It lines up just at -4 right down here. Okay, so where did we retrace? Very random level. Okay, 2 to 2.5, as I've mentioned many times before. So to what levels? 1 to 1.5, where you would find your silver bullet setup for continuation lower, if that's the case that it's going to present, and very likely I think it is. So let's see. So this is for NQ, right? Let's head over to ES. Same thing here. On the daily chart, swing high, swing low. Where did it retrace? -4. Perfect here. Okay, so how high can it go to not invalidate the short term, I mean the long term bearishness? Okay, 2 to 2.5 right here. This would be a very nice area for it to retrace to, but because yes, it's proving to be way more bearish than NQ, it might not even want to reach up into this area. As you can see right here on the 4 hours, it made a lower high as compared to Nasdaq, so it's way more bearish here. And even right here, so we have a inefficiency, and we have a shift in market structure right here, so it could just reach up into this area and then continue lower. Okay, so that's for ES, right? So let's head over back to the daily chart, right? If you use this fib here, high to low, we have 2 to 2.5 right at the fifth standard deviation, which would bring us to around this area here. And if we use this measurement here, lines up nicely with 4 standard deviation. So this area here, I think very highly likely that we're gonna attack. Okay, so how or what kind of inefficiency can we, or PD arrays can we derive from this level here? We have this swing low. Okay, and then we have relative equal lows down here as well. Right, let's head over to the weekly to see if there's anything that we can use. Okay, maybe we can use the consequent encroachment of this wick here, right? And maybe the low down here. So let's not get ahead of ourselves, and this I think would be the low hanging fruit. Okay, I want to see if we can reach inside this area here. We have relative equal lows down here as well, right? So because it's bearish, it could overextend. All right, so this is what I'm looking for, these two levels here for ES. Okay, so there you have it. Still bearish on indices. Okay, moving forward, we have DXY. So DXY, we have ran our long-term targets right here, this high, which is also a monthly CB. Right, as you can see, price is closing above the monthly CB. So what would I be more confident that price wants to go above this high? that is when it has a closure above the consequent encroachment of this CB here, which is 107.175. Okay, so as long as a monthly candle can close above this price point, okay, I will be looking for this high, right? Other than that, this is just going to be a short-term trading into an inefficiency, and we have a weekly swing high right around the consequent encroachment. So I think this is going to be the next draw on liquidity. Okay, so how far can dollar go before invalidation? Okay, invalidation, I think trading below this breaker. Okay, if price starts to close below on a weekly basis, starts to close below this breaker here, I think we're gonna go lower. But other than that, I'm using this as a springboard. Okay, if you zoom in well enough, you can see that there is a small little inefficiency here, whereby price can use as a springboard to attack the highs, right? So I'm expecting October to be such a move. So we move lower and then higher. Okay, that's what I'm expecting for October for DXY. And for indices, let me just give you the invalidation. Okay, so indices basically invalidation similar to the dollar. All right, any closure above the consequent encroachment of this weekly CB, right over here, 4438.75, that is going to be my invalidation. Weekly closure right above this level, that's going to be invalidation for indices to continue trading lower. Nasdaq as well, we have this weekly CB, this inefficient, this consequent encroachment right here. Any closing candle on a weekly basis above this price, I will be sidelined, which means that would invalidate the bearish idea of going lower. Okay, so that's for the XY indices. Heading over to Hang Seng Index, we have this ugly price action right here. Okay, as you can see, it's taking stops below this low here twice already, right? And it's unable to close below. So I'm still looking for lower prices, but it's taking longer than I really like it to be. Okay, so overall, I'm still bearish for Hang Seng, right? And any closure above the consequent encroachment of this CB here, I would be invalidated. I'll be sidelined, right? And of course, we are heading to the fourth quarter now. I am assuming that we're gonna see some form of distribution, which means low resistance liquidity runs to higher time frame objectives. Okay, so that is what I'm anticipating for HSI. All right, and let's move on to gold. Well, so closing below this inefficiency, we are very bearish on gold, right? As you can see, this level here and this order block here, right? As I've mentioned before, higher DXY, lower gold. So based on this closure alone, I think this is going to be the next strong liquidity, this swing low right here, right? Mentioned many times before that I wouldn't hold anything above these highs. It's I would use this as a stop hunt, right? So anyways, I'm not trading gold, or I'm not interested in trading gold. I'm just giving what I see, analyzing what I see. Okay, just basically reading the price action. Right, so this is for gold. Next, I'm moving on to Bitcoin. Right, doing nothing right here, just chopping around. Okay, I'm not interested in this type of price action as compared to the other charts that I have mentioned prior to Bitcoin. The other charts looks more promising. Okay, so this is Bitcoin. Right, so let's move on to individual stocks. Let's go over to Tesla. Okay, so Tesla, I am watching this up close candle. Okay, if we get a weekly closure below the mean threshold of this candle here, it's gonna be bearish for Tesla. All right, and then I would dispose the idea of it wanting to come back up into this area. Okay, so that's how I'm reading Tesla right now, because it has reached into the 2 and 2.5 this standard deviation range once already. It doesn't have to do it another time. I mean, one more time. It can, but it doesn't have to. And basing off of the strength on and the direction of the indices, we're probably going to go lower unless we have some form of a manipulation, right? So that's why I'm looking for Tesla. And if DXY manages to retrace in the first half of October as I've anticipated and I would like it to do, then very likely Tesla might give a run high. So right here, right now, it's 50-50, low probability. Okay, that's what Tesla. Palantir, so you can see this price here, it's getting supported right off this PPR. So if this continues, right, okay, I just want to take, I wanting to take note down here. These are relative equal lows, okay? So these are engineered liquidity that is set to run. I mean, set to be attacked at a later date, okay? So let's see if it wants to do so, all right? So far it's trading right into this area here and getting rejected. So any closing price above the consequent encroachment, then maybe you can see the high here attacked. Other than that, lower prices for Palantir. Okay, let's go over to Nvidia. Okay, same thing here. I'm looking at this lows. Nothing much has changed. It has basically stayed within the previous week's range. Okay, so this is an inside candle. So I'm expecting a expansion huge candle next or the following one. So two more. Within these two candles, there will be a big, huge candle. Okay, and I'm expecting it to be to the downside. Okay, that is for Nvidia. And lastly, let's take a look at Disney. Right, so making its way there, but finding some sort of resistance down here. Did it take out the low? No, it did not take out this low, right? So basically engineering more liquidity down here. Okay, you have this low, and you have this low, and then you have this low. So there's a large pool of liquidity down here. Okay, so it is going to be attacked at a later date. That's what I'm looking at, and that's what I assume. Okay, and it's going to reach into this 74.08. Okay, this is for Disney. Okay, let's just cover one more. Amazon. Let's see. 8143. Okay, I think these lows are next. Okay, these lows will be attacked from my anticipation. Okay, because this has not been tagged, right? Look at the low of this candle right here. The low comes in at around 81.43. The low over here 81.30. So it has not been attacked. So there's a huge liquidity resting below here. See, so eventually it's going to come down here. That's what I'm anticipating for Amazon. Right, so let's move on to Chinese stocks. Let's start off with Baba. So Baba has been quite an uneventful stock to watch. Okay, but the reason why I keep coming back it's because of this lows here. I really like this lows, right? I believe it's gonna attack here, basically. So same as majority of the stocks, bearishness, and I think this is gonna be the next draw on liquidity, and it can overextend to 45.52, and then I want to see some form of a retracement. Okay, so that is what I'm anticipating for Baba as well. So if you take a look at what Baba is doing right now, it's rejecting off this order block. Okay, so these two up close candles are your proportion order block of this order block here. Okay, so this is the main order block that you really want to watch. Any closure above the mean threshold of this order block, we're going to attack the highs. But as of now, I don't see it to happen. I don't see it happening. And right here we have an propulsion block. So this is um, a stronger candidate for prices to bump and then move to where it needs to go. So I do not want to see the mean threshold to be traded through. And if it ever touches this level, I want to see a strong aggressive reaction away. Okay, so 91.95. Okay, so let's just mark it down. 91 to 91.95. 91.95. 91.95. So if price ever comes to this level, I want to see it reject immediately with a super aggressive move. Okay, I do not want it to be trading around this order block here after it touches the mean threshold, but it does not need to. Okay, so proportion order blocks, how does it work? I'm basically using the opening price and the mean threshold. Okay, I want to see reaction of these two levels, and if it ever comes back up into this level, I'm repeating this for the I don't know how many times already, but if it ever comes up into this level, I want to see a strong reaction away, rejection. Okay, strong rejection. Okay, but it doesn't need to. All it needs is this opening price right here, as you can see, based off this week. And we have an inside candle as well, so I'm expecting a large range, a large range candle in the following week, within 2 weeks. Okay, 1 and 2. Within 2 weeks, I want to see a large expansion candle to the downside, obviously. So that is what I am anticipating for Baba. Okay. I'm gonna highlight this too in a different color. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for Baba. And then let's head over to JD. So JD right here, where did we bounce off of? Here, 28.26. Okay, it's just eyeballing. I'm not going to the exact values. 28.26. It's a consequent encroachment of this entire balance price range. What's the low coming in? 28.07. This is not random. Okay, so I think further downside for JD, preferably this lows right here. Okay, I'm gonna highlight it. This lows will be next. I think it's going to be. So I mean, if the equities continue to trade lower, this is going to be the next objective, 25.48, and I want to see if it can attack the lows down here at 19.27. Okay, that's for JD. New. Okay, so I'm gonna treat this as a stop hunt, right? And then I'm looking for this price, as I've mentioned it many weeks ago. So this price here, okay, inefficiency, right? So right now this has become a balanced price range, and I would like to see this act as a form of resistance to go lower. So it can trade up into this area here. and then trade lower. Okay, that's for new. And is there any more? Let me just run through my mind to see if there is anything else that I want to cover. PS. Right, so meandering around, nothing much here. Citron, same thing. BN4, Capel Corp, same thing. U96, Semcorp, same thing as well. So nothing much happening really. Right, and I think for this I'm gonna close this session. Comes in around about 26 minutes, not too bad. Right? I mean, as compared to other sessions which are pretty long in general. So let me just run through to see if there's anything that I want to cover. Okay, let's run through the interest rates and the bond markets and the interest rate market. Okay, I have it here. Bond. Where is the bond? Yep. No, this is the interest rate. This is the bond. Okay, so on the monthly charts, right, I like this reaction here. Okay, so ultimately I'm looking at, right now, I'm looking at this level here. 1123, 1122. Okay, this low here. I think this low is next for the bond markets. Okay, and I think this is very nice as well, this level here. Okay, so this is the bond market. We have the interest rate market as well. Interest rates, right, moving higher. I'm sitting above this high, and I think it's going to extend over into this level here. Why? Because it's a 3-month, and if is it 3 months or is it 12 month? Was it 1 month? I think 1 month. What is this, weekly? Let me just double check. Did I? Let me just double check here. Yeah, I think I shifted this box. Okay, is it from the monthly? Though it's not the monthly. 3 month. Not as well. So I'm just gonna adjust the box here. So this is my targets for the interest rates, 10-year yield. Okay, so I think it's gonna come back up into this area, which is why I am calling for higher dollar. I think 2 to 3 months back, and then higher for longer. Okay, higher rates for longer. So as usual, the Federal Reserve is following the script. Okay, right. So let me just cover one more US oil, just to give an update. Okay, so it has taken this liquidity here, the buy stops here. I think I want to see it overextend to this level here. We have a monthly inefficiency right here. Okay, and let's take a look at the 3 month, 1 month, and 1 week. Okay, I want to see price close above the consequent encroachment of this week. No. Okay. I think this level here is better. I think this BPR. Okay. So any closure on a monthly basis above this BPR here, then I think we're good to go for this high here and then this highs here, right? I think it would be next month or November because we do have a order block next 2 months. Okay, within 2 months, we have a order block right here. Okay, 1 and 2, and then we have an inefficiency here and here. So I think this level would be enough for the price to reach into and then trade above this consequent encroachment of this balanced price range, and then we trade higher, neglecting this inefficiency. So it's gonna punch through. So that's what I'm expecting for US oil. Okay, so why this balanced price range? This was the range, this was the fair value gap that was used to send the price above a old high, okay, for the second time. And from there, it traded lower and it was used to attack the sell stops here, okay? Trade up, rejected, traded up again, rejected again. So this level here, I think it's highly sensitive. So I'm going to use this level as a gauge of strength for US oil. Okay, and I think that's it for today. Right, enjoy your weekends, and I'll be back next week again. Right, um, have a great weekend, and I'm gonna sign out now.